to a lot of them that I'm pretty much started about talking about each of the planets now. And I have somebody coming in 20 minutes, so free to kill time. So, what is the sun in astrology, or known as Surya, the sun? In astrology, Surya, the sun, is a representation of father figure, government figure. It's essentially any authoritative figure in your life. It's also your sense of fulfillment. Pretty much whenever you do something, do you feel fulfilled doing it or not? It's where essentially the reason why you incarnated. It represents your soul. It represents gold. And it's the original ruler of the fifth house, the sign of Leo. And the fifth house is about speculative gain, performance, stage performance, romance, higher education, such as, per se, learning about like spiritual scriptures or learning about a subject that you are actually desiring to learn about. You're choosing to learn something on your own free will, rather than it be like the sixth house, because that's completely different. And different from the fourth, because the fourth represents essentially kindergarten level all the way up to, say, after ninth grade. All that's related to Cancer. 10th grade onward is Leo. And Leo is a sign that is a fire fixed sign. That's all about self. It's pretty much, of course, being self-sufficient. It's pretty much admiration of self, and getting praise from those around you. So Sun, believe it or not, is actually seen as a malefic planet. And how is Sun malefic? Well, since Sun is on fire, usually when you get too close to fire, you get burnt. The same thing applies with the Sun. Sun is considered a mild malefic because wherever he sits, he kind of burns the significance of the house and any other planet that's close to him, or too close to him in a certain degree point. However, Mercury is an exception. He's the closest to the sun, so he's able to withstand it. And usually when you have Sun, I'll go through like the signs real quick. Sun in Aries is considered his exalted position, so Sun is able to take the initiative for himself. The king is able to use his authority and take initiative and get what he wants first, since Aries is that sign about initiative. And moving over to Taurus, Sun and Venus do not get along with one another, because Sun wants somebody to come in and suffer and pay their karmas back, while Venus wants them to enjoy their life and have no sufferings whatsoever. So in Taurus, Sun is not really that fulfilled, because he has to find fulfillment and he has to be a bit authoritative in enjoying the senses, which any sign that's enjoyment, he does not really like to enjoy anything, because he's believing that he has to come here and suffer and pay back something, and the reason why for him to incarnate. Sun is also one of the factors you have to look for to see what kind of career someone most likely will be doing. He's one of them, not the only one, but one of them. In Gemini, he does alright. In sign Gemini, there is the ability to communicate and express, so being able to express himself and communicate with others, that's not that much of a challenge for him there. Cancer, he is rather confused, because now he's being more of a mother figure than a father figure, but he still was able to make it work. He's not as agitated as it would be in, say, Libra. I'll get into that one in a moment. Sun in Leo, that's where he naturally owns, so he feels comfortable in Leo. Sun in Virgo, the Sun now has to pretty much become like a living nitpick, criticize and banish anything that is deemed vile or get rid of the impurities of the world. And actually, funny enough, in the 6th house, the sun does very well. Because when you have the 6th house, the house of enemies, obstacles, and challenges, when you have the king there, well, you kind of don't really outdo the king. Sun in the 7th house, or in Libra, but pretty much in Libra, that's where he's debilitated and agitated. Because now the king is being forced to negotiate, and the king, well, doesn't negotiate. So in Libra, he follows the most weak. Now, Sun in Scorpio, he actually does exceptionally well in the Sun in Scorpio. Because the Scorpio is essentially the underground, where there's attempts of assassination, secrecy, occult science, and when you put the Sun in there and everything's revealed, he does not really have much of a hindrance there. Sun in Sagittarius, he does very well in there because he is very friendly with Jupiter. And one's actually able to use his light to actually help guide other people. Sun in Capricorn, he does not do well in Capricorn because the king is now being forced to do repetitive routine work and exhibit his status correctly. Sun in Aquarius, he gets the most agitated because in Aquarius, one has to pretty much do what's best for society rather than for the self, which is Leo. So he's looking at the opposing sign that he owns. So he's not really that fond of being in Aquarius because he has to do what's best for the people instead of for himself. Sun in Pisces, he does exceptionally well there too because that's a friendly sign to him with Jupiter as well. So, in terms of house placements, the best ones for him are the... Hold on, I got a call. Hold on. Be right back. Got a call I gotta take. Hold on. Come on.